with EIGRP. For various versions, there may be slight variation in command, which we dealt yesterday. Now, here is an example configuration of a basic EIGRP. This is well known to you. EIGRP and then the network. If you want to match more than the default prefix length, then you need to mention the wildcard mask, which is not available in RIP, only available in OSPF, EIGRP, and BGP. In BGP, we don't have wildcard mask. Instead, we have subnet mask. Whereas in OSPF and EIGRP, you use wildcard mask. Again, same EIGRP, in ASA firewall, you will have subnet mask. So let us not get into that portion. Mostly, you will use wildcard mask. That firewall is exceptional. Okay, so this basic configuration, some show commands. See, very important is verification. After doing everything that you're supposed to do for your scenario, if you can't verify, if you don't know how to verify, if you know only to ping and verify, that's not enough. Pinging and verifying is good, but what if the ping don't happen? If ping don't happen, then you need to troubleshoot. For that, we need more verification commands, isn't it? You need more verification commands. You see, when you don't ping, first of all, we can see whether the neighbor is established. We need to check that. If the neighbor itself is not there, then there is no point of thinking about other things like pinging or tracing route. See, when neighbor is not available, then definitely route you would have not learned. No possibility of learning route. So, neighborship you need to check. The command is show IPIGRP neighbor. What are the information you get about a neighbor in this show command? You get the IP address of the neighbor. I'm in R1. I can very well say that this end where R2 is connected has got, I can say the IP address of the next router. And then the interface via which I'm connecting is this. So this is the interface to which router 2 is connected on router 1. The whole timer. How often hello packets are sent? Can someone say? In EIGRP, how often the hello packets are sent? Exactly. Now, what is this 10 second? This is the hold time. Hold time is 15 seconds. So after 15, it will be going down 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Immediately a hello packet comes and then it gets resetted to 15 again. This should not go below down less than 10. If it goes, what is going to happen? Once it hits 0, the neighbor will get removed. It's a nice mechanism, countdown. It starts from 15 always. When the hello comes on time, no problem, it will never hit 0. All right, so how long this neighbor is up? For 7 minutes. Smooth round trip time in millisecond, 10 millisecond, just to go and come. A packet to go between R1 and R2 and to receive the response. A request, a response. How long it takes for the request response? 10 milliseconds. A round trip This is what very important. This is again, I think this is not in milliseconds, something else, some big number. Round trip or TIVO means it's retransmission timeout. So the retransmission will happen only after this much time. So far, 5 update has come from this neighbor. When you type simply show IP route, it shows the complete routing table. What do I mean by complete routing table? Not just the EIGRP routes, even the routes via other source. Here, the other source is directly connected. If you will be running some other protocol, even those routes can be seen here. If you will have a static route, even those routes can be seen here. But when you want to see only EIGRP commands, sorry, EIGRP learned routes, you put the keyword show IP route EIGRP. Show IP route EIGRP. You see only those 3 you see here. That helps us to get things in a small page. Meaning, if you have too many routes, then too many pages. If I want to troubleshoot only EIGRP routes, then why I need to see other routes? So better not to use show IP route in such scenario. It's not only for EIGRP, any protocol you troubleshoot, you want to see only those routes learned through that protocol, you type show IP route OSPF, show IP route BGP, show IP route static, show IP route EIGRP, show IP route RIP. Now this is another command which is common for any routing protocol, show IP protocol. When you type this command on a router, you will be seeing all the routing protocols that are running on this router. So the router may be supporting many protocols, but what is enabled is what you will see here. See, BGP is also supported in this router, but it is not enabled, so you don't see here. Because BGP process is currently down. We have not enabled it. Even RIP this router supports, but you won't see it unless you go and enable. Show IP EIGRP interfaces will show you what all interfaces runs EIGRP. Not only that, if you're running more than one EIGRP, you will see them under a different process ID. In this output, you have only one EIGRP called 100 autonomous system number, under which these 2 interfaces are running. Via this interface, there is no neighbor discovered, but via serial, there is another neighbor connected. All right. Show IP EIGRP topology is going to show you all routes, and the AD value and the FD value. This example is not that clear. Okay, here you see, for this destination, this is the next router, the next hop to which the packet will be forwarded. The metric from next hop to the final destination is this. The metric from R1 to the final destination is this. This is advertised distance. This is advertised distance. This is FD value, successor value. Now in the routing table, you will not find this one. You will only see this. Let's go and see the routing table 170 to 17. You see 170 to 17. You see only that number 40514560. 40514560. You don't see advertised distance there. In the routing table, you don't see advertised distance. You see the administrative distance here instead. 90 is the administrative distance of EIGRP. This is also another command where you can see how many packets. We learned different message types in EIGRP, how many hello packets sent and received so far, update packet sent and received, query packet sent, reply. You see one query was sent, for that you got one reply already. Acknowledgement, 4 acknowledgements sent and 3 received. Struck inactive we will be learning later. This is internally used numbers, process IDs. Right, so this chapter was about basic EIGRP configuration, IP default network, and show commands. In our next chapter, we are going to see advanced EIGRP. What do we learn in EIGRP Advanced? We'll be learning about summarization, optimization, stub, WAN consideration like bandwidth, etc. Let's get into this. EIGRP route summarization. See, this is the old version explanation. In older version, summarization is enabled automatically. What does it mean? You got 172.16.1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. But by default, when EIGRP advertises, it will summarize to class full. This is in older version like 12.4 earlier. Earlier to 12.4. It is automatic. Whereas from after 12.4, 15 got popular. From 15 onwards, if you see, the auto summarization is not by default. Not going to occur by default. So the newer versions, we don't need to type no auto summary. You don't need to type what? No auto summary, no automatic summary. You don't need to type because it is not actually summarizing. Do you have a question on summarization, the automatic summarization? Do you have a question on automatic summarization? Okay. Now, there is also another summarization called manual summarization. What is manual summarization? Manual summarization is an interface level summarization, which we call as manual summarization. Interface level summarization. For example, I got 10.1.1.0/24, 10.1.2.0/24, 10.1.3.0/24 on this route. I'll call this router as 1, and this is 2, and this is 3. By default, in the previous slide, we learned that there is no summarization by default. In the newer versions, there is no summarization. As a result, you will see this complete 3-line of route in the routing table of both 2 and 3. But I do not want router 2 learning all 3 subnets. I just want router 2 to learn summary. So what I can do is I can go to this interface here and enable manual summarization. I can tell that interface you need to send only 10.0.0.0/8. But you know one thing, if a router needs to advertise a route like this, that route should be seen in the routing table. But in the routing table, what do you have? /24. You don't have /8. So what EIGRP will do, EIGRP will create a route like this with /8. It will create a route with /8. It will create a route with /8. Now, to which interface that /8 will be mapped? Will it be mapped to this interface or this interface or this? Which interface? A null interface. NULL. Null zero interface. Why? Because that summarization that you have done is not of a single interface. It's a summarization of all these three interfaces. So it cannot point towards one single interface because it's common for all three. So EIGRP is designed to generate a static route pointing towards null zero. Now that route is what going to be advertised to this router. Now when will this summary route go? When the last specific route, how many specific route you have? 1, 2, 3. When all these three goes down, only then the summary will get deleted from the routing table and that summary will stop sending. Okay, now what will be the metric of this summary? Let's say the metric to reach this one is 10. The metric to reach this one is 11, 12. The summary is common for this three. The summary is common for this three. So which metric, 10 or 11 or 12, which metric should I give to this summary route? Minimum metric, which is 10, isn't it? 10 becomes the metric of the summary route. So router 2 learns 10.0.0.0/90/10. See, when you got summary, the metric of summary route will be the minimum metric of this specific route. Question, do you have any question? No question. I did not say /10, I said metric, not subnet mask. Now let us do a lab and see this. Assign IP address and configure EIGRP both in one go. You can use a notepad for fast configuration. Enable config T interface loopback 0 IP address 10.1.1.1.255.255.255.255. Want to paste this for 3 times. Make this as 1. Let's do one thing. Start with 1, 2, and 3. And here 2 and 3. And then interface Ethernet 0/1 192.168. And then another interface Ethernet 0/0. This is as per the plan. Now configuring EIGRP router EIGRP 100. That's the autonomous system number I prefer. Network, anything that starts with 10, and then network, anything that starts with 192.168.0.0. What I'm saying here is just match only the 2 octet. If it matches, run EIGR. Will it run on both E1 and E2? Sorry, E1 and E0? Let's check. And you notice here I'm not typing no auto summary because by default in this version auto summarization is disabled. Okay, what I'm expecting is show IP IGRP interface brief interfaces. As we expected that one command, the wildcard mask, the 2 octets matched on E00 and E01. Okay, that's how you can use wildcard mask. It is not only the class full boundary, it can also come down from the boundary. You can go up as well as come down from the default mask boundaries. Any questions so far? Let us now configure on R2. I'll remove this loopbacks. There is no need for R2 loopback. And I'll remove this as well. And this is going to be 0 and 1, 2. And then I don't need to say this. And this can be the same. I don't need to alter. Or if you want to say, you can say like this. That is all. I'm going to put this on router 2. Likewise, on router 3, there will be 1 here, and 3 here, and 1 here. That's all. I would like to put this on router 3. After I do that, I would like to go to R1. Look at this. There is already a neighbor with R2, and now with R3 also. In the previous chapter, we learned a lot of show commands. We are going to see one by one. Am I having neighbor? I already see there is a neighbor, but still, just I'm doing this command, show IP. I can see the neighbor. And then, which neighbor came first? This is the 0th neighbor, 41 seconds ago. And this is the next neighbor. So it starts from 0. Now you see, we got R2, show IP route. You see, all 3 routes are coming, you see, because the summarization is not off. Sorry, summarization is off. You understand? Summarization is off. That's why you're getting detailed routes. Even in R3 show IP route, you can see detailed route. And if you go to router 1 and check show IP protocol, you can see here the summarization, automatic summarization is disabled in this version. Okay, it is disabled. Administrative distance 90 blah, blah. Okay, now if I enable auto summarization, router EIGRP 100 auto summary. If I enable, what will happen? Both R2 and R3 will get summary route. You agree? See, it is synchronizing with the both the neighbors. So if you go now, you will see a newly synchronized summary route. Yes. Yeah, earlier it was detailed route. Now, our aim is to give a detailed route to router 3 and summary route to router 2. You understood? We want summary only on router 2. And we want detail on I'm not asking that. What is our aim? We want to give a detailed route to which router? Detailed route, give it to R3. That's our aim. We want R3 to receive like this, and we want R1 to receive like this. You understood? So how do we achieve this? Let's see. First, go to R1 and say no auto summary. Now both will be getting detailed routes. Let's see first R3. R3 has got detailed routes, no problem. You're happy because R3 you want detailed routes, isn't it? Next. If you go to R2, you still have a detailed route, but I do not want detailed route. So we are going to do manual summarization. Okay. Now, I want to show you, before I configure manual summarization, I want to show you the routing table of R1. See nicely, carefully, closely. This is the current situation of router 1, isn't it? Now, after I configure summarization, see what happens. Interface Ethernet 01. Okay, it's an interface level. Okay. IP summary address EIGRP 110.0.0.0.0255.0.0.0. Okay, this is how you do manual summarization under interface. Now, check the routing table. You see, earlier this was not there. Okay, it was not there, no? So now why it is created? Because if you don't have it in the routing table, you cannot advertise. You want to advertise this to router 2, but if you want to advertise, you should have it in the routing table. Only then it can advertise. And it is pointing towards null 0. Why? It cannot point to loopback 1. Why? It's a summary of all these 3. So it cannot point to any one of this. So it is taking null 0 in common. You understood? That's it. Now go to router 2 and check. You get a summary. Go to router 3 and check. You get detail. Go to R1 and type show IP protocol. You can see here automatic summarization is disabled, but only on this interface this type of summarization for 3 component it is done. You understand? 3 subnets been summarized like this and sent over this port, which is connecting to router 2. You understood? Is this not connecting to router 2? E01. Yes, it is connecting to router 2, no? Yeah. So that's about manual